Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, I'm Leticia, and as you can tell by the title, this is going to be all about my second trimester. I'm going to talk about all the fun, exciting things about the second trimester, because it is mostly fun and exciting, but then there's also some not fun and exciting things like side effects and symptoms that you wish you didn't have. I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything because there's a lot of things I didn't know. And if you didn't see my first trimester recap, then make sure you go check that out. Basically, I was talking about all the symptoms I had then and just how it was a huge shock to me. And I don't know why I let it surprise me, but the second trimester comes with a whole new set of its own symptoms. And obviously, this is just from my personal experiences. This isn't gonna happen to everybody. Let's just get right into it. I think one of the most exciting things about the second trimester is that you actually start to look pregnant, because in the first trimester, I mean, at least if you're a first-time mom, most likely you don't look pregnant. Like, I honestly lost weight my first trimester because I was throwing up so much, and I know that happens to other people too, but finally, if you like stop throwing up, then you start gaining weight. And then you start, in the beginning, it doesn't look like a baby bump at all. It just kind of looks like you're getting kind of chubby, but I mean, it is what it is. But eventually, it starts to look like a bump. And for me, it was at week 26. It took all the way to 26 weeks for like strangers to actually, I don't know what it was about that week, or I don't know if it's just because like I was in Mexico. I don't know if it's just because Mexicans are more like blunt or something, but everyone would be like, oh my gosh, like how far are you? Like that was the first week where everyone started mentioning I looked pregnant. But even my friends and stuff were like, well, you kind of like popped, like you kind of have a little bump now. And then like people start to like, you know, like, oh, she's pregnant, like let her go to the bathroom first or something. So you start getting some of the benefits of being pregnant. So I thought that was super awesome. Something else that's super exciting is you start to feel a baby kick on your second trimester. Most people start feeling it, I think, around week 17, and I think I started feeling it, but honestly, they were so tiny that I was like, I'm not even 100% sure. People said that it felt like butterflies in your stomach. Aww. I never felt butterflies in my stomach. Just like being super honest, it felt like gas bubbles in my stomach. Like I felt like I had to fart, but like I would never fart. That's what it felt like for me in the beginning. And this is something you should ask. If they don't tell you, you should ask where your placenta is. Or maybe they only tell you if it's in the front. I have an anterior placenta, and apparently that's like, nothing's wrong with it, but that just means it's in the front, and most people's placentas are in the back. And so that means like, my baby has this huge cushion in the front, so it's harder for me to feel her kick in the beginning. I think even now still it's kind of like, it's still cushioned because it's still there. Most people probably can feel it easier if they don't have the anterior placenta. And so what I did was I bought my own little Doppler on eBay. I'll leave the link down below. I think it was like 50 bucks or something like that, but totally worth it. Because then if I wasn't feeling kicks, or if I'm not going in for ultrasounds or anything, I mean, I know the baby's fine because I was like healthy and everything was normal, but I just wanted to like have some interaction with my baby. And so I would just do the Doppler at home. And if you don't know what that is, it's just where you can hear the heart rate. I'm so excited. Okay, so this is what it looks like inside. It has the little Doppler, has some gel, and then the little thing, and it even comes with batteries. I love that. I hate when things are like, batteries not included, and then you have to go find batteries or go to the store. So I'm gonna get this all set up, test it on myself, and I'll show you guys in a second. Okay, it's gonna be kind of hard. There's my little tummy. It's actually getting kind of big. I'm gonna put it right below my belly button. I think that's where the doctor put it. All right. Oh my gosh, I think I can hear it a little bit. Oh my gosh. It says it's 120, 119. Oh my gosh. I almost teared up at the doctor's and now I'm like almost tearing up again. I literally would just sit there and like listen to the heart rate just because I'm like, okay, there's still a baby in there, everything's good. So I don't know, I just liked it. It was kind of like calming for me. So one of the most exciting things about the second trimester is you get a lot more ultrasound, and it's super exciting because they actually go from looking like a little bean to looking like a real little baby. It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm making a little baby. So I thought that was super cute, just being able to see the actual baby that's being made inside of me, and you get to find out the gender.
All right, 2, 3.
If you already did like the pre-screen testing and all that stuff in the beginning of your pregnancy, then you probably already found out the gender. Eric and I decided not to do that because we knew no matter what, we were going to keep our baby anyways, and plus those tests aren't even super accurate. So we just waited. Most people find out, if they don't find out then, they find out at their 20-week anatomy scan. They tell you to have a full bladder when you go in for your anatomy scan because it helps, like being able to see the baby more. But what I found out at my anatomy scan was, instead of just like drinking a lot right before the ultrasound, honestly, you should be drinking a lot of water like every single day. And all I drink is water, but apparently I wasn't drinking enough because he was like, well, your amniotic fluid's like in the normal range, but it's still pretty low. And so like if you have low amniotic fluid, then it's harder to see the baby. And so yeah, after he told me that, then I was like, oh crap, okay, I'll start like chugging the water down. So yeah, make sure you're drinking extra water from the beginning, like as soon as possible. Those are all fun things because it makes it feel more real. But sometimes it does come with its side effects. I'm not gonna go on too long about this because there's not really that much to say. So I'm just kind of gonna list them off and give any tips along the way if I found anything helpful. Okay, so probably one of the biggest things that everybody wonders, like when they're pregnant or before they get pregnant, is like, am I gonna get stretch marks? And every single person is different, and probably even I think like each pregnancy is different. But I heard it has to do with genetics as well. So did I get stretch marks in my second trimester? Yes, but it's not what I thought it was. So I heard you can get stretch marks on your stomach, obviously your boobs, your hips, and your butt. And I only got 3 little stretch marks on my boobs right here. And I don't know why. I mean, they've gotten a little bit bigger, but your boobs mostly grow, I think, after you get your milk, which happens after the baby's born. So these were just like super random one day, and I was like, okay, that's weird. But I've been putting on vitamin E. This is what it looks like. I just ordered it off Amazon. But I put on vitamin E oil every single day, and it has jojoba oil. I just heard that it's really good to put that on. So I don't know if that's helped, or I don't know if it's just because I heard you can go your whole pregnancy and then get them like the last week or 2. I don't know. Either way, if I get more or if I don't, I'm okay with it because my sister-in-law, she calls them your marks of motherhood. And I'm like, I love that. They're just like proof that your body like did something awesome to make a new life. So if I get more, I mean, I'll probably get more anyways, but if you get them, don't worry about it. You're becoming a mom. Like, how awesome is that, you know? You could say like, yeah, I freaking made a life. I gave birth. Like, this was because I held a baby, another human inside of me. I just always want everyone to not be so self-conscious because it's just natural, you know? Some other random symptoms that I had was, in the beginning, I did get some like Charlie horses, which is like when your muscles in your legs just like cramp up super bad. It would happen like when I was sleeping and I'm like waking up and I'm stretching in bed, and then like my calf would just like turn into a hard knot, and I'm like, ah, my leg! Like it just hurts so bad. Luckily it only happened like 2 or 3 times. I had I think 1 or 2 nights where I was just kind of had like restless legs, like they just kind of were hurting, and so it was kind of hard to go to sleep. And I also had a lot of headaches in the beginning. Probably had something to do with me apparently not drinking enough water. Maybe it's because I thought I was drinking enough water for me, but the water that I'm used to, like the baby was taking it all, so I'm actually dehydrated. Now that I think about it, like you do probably have to drink extra because you're supplying yourself and the baby with water. So that's probably why I had headaches. And something else I experienced was I did get swollen. I don't remember if I was 6 months or 7 months, but it was when we went to Mexico for New Year's Eve, and my ankles and my feet and my legs got so swollen. I didn't know like being swollen actually hurt. I thought it just kind of like looked funny because you're like a little bit poofy. No, like it hurts to walk when you have swollen ankles. I was like, oh no, like I'm already swollen. I still have like 4 more months. So I was like, geez, it's already started. But when I came back from Mexico, I wasn't swollen anymore and I haven't been swollen again. So I think it's just because it was like a climate change. It was like really hot and humid over there. And we were walking a lot. We were like doing tours and just exploring and stuff like that. And then also we'd sit in the plane for a long time, so like too much sitting, too much walking, all the heat, that's what made me swollen. And luckily I haven't been swollen since then, so I'm super happy about that. Another thing that happened was that I had to pee more often. Also, if you're trying to drink more, you're just peeing more. It's not as bad as I thought, and I haven't like peed myself or anything like that, but I just think it's like your bladder has less space, so you just have to pee more often. So it was like no big deal. Another thing that I experienced was I was like a little bit more emotional. The tears just come easier, let's just say that. Like the funniest story actually is the stupidest thing that I cried over was I was on Facebook, and I'm sure you guys have all heard of Judge Judy.
This is Judge Judy.
And there was this case where this guy's dog got stolen, and then like the person who stole it sold it to someone, and then he found out who bought it. And so they were at court trying to get the dog back, and she's like, I bought it. And he's like, but I never sold it, so I should keep my dog. Anyways, Judge Judy basically was like, you know what? We're gonna put the dog down, and then whoever the dog runs to is obviously gonna be the owner, and so they're gonna be able to keep it. And the dog ran straight up to his owner and was so happy to see him again. And I started crying, and I was like, my dogs would do that. They would come to me. They're so loyal. And I was in public and everything, but it's just funny. Like, I don't know why. You just can't help it, but you cry. And so sometimes you even just like cry, even if you're not even really sad. You're just like, oh, this is so dumb. Like, I'm just hungry. Like, I just want to eat. So it wasn't like I was outraged with hormones and stuff, but yeah, you're definitely just a little bit more sensitive, I guess, because you could just cry like anytime. Now, the 2 last symptoms that I want to talk about were probably the biggest surprises for me, and they're the ones that I've experienced the most. And like I told you in the beginning, I'm just like keeping it super real because I'm sure motherhood gets even more TMI than these little symptoms that I'm sharing with you. One is I started getting really bad heartburn like all the time, and I heard that that's like, I think it's an old wives' tale, but I heard that means your baby has a lot of hair. But I didn't hear that until after I got my 4D. Yeah, we paid to get a 4D ultrasound, and they're like, wow, she has a lot of hair. And then I went back, and like the past 2 ultrasounds I've got since then, they've also said the same thing. They're like, she has a lot of hair on her head. And so they're like, you have heartburn? And I was like, yeah, like every single day. I literally eat Tums like every day. I know some people can get it just from like eating something spicy, or, you know, something will set it off. But literally I could be getting it even if I don't eat. Like, I'll just like sit in bed and then it'll just come. And I'm like, I haven't even ate. So it doesn't matter if I eat something spicy or if I don't eat, it just comes. I think that maybe some things could make me more prone to getting it, but I don't know. It's just such a weird feeling. It's kind of just more gross and annoying to like have your chest and your throat kind of just feel super warm all the time. And yeah, I did not expect to have heartburn like daily. And the last thing, I kept this for last because I don't think that most people will get this symptom, and this is like the most personal one. Like stretch marks, that's normal. Everyone knows, like, you'll probably get stretch marks, or a lot of pregnant women do get stretch marks. But this one, like, I even asked all my friends, and I was like, why didn't you tell me about this? Like, why didn't you prepare me? And they're like, that didn't happen to me. And I was like, what? So, right when I turned 6 months pregnant, like, I don't know why, but I started leaking. And when I say leaking, like, I'm talking about my boobs were leaking. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? And I'm not talking about like a lot, but if you never have anything coming out of them, and then one day, like, your shirt's just kind of wet, you're just like, what just happened? Like, I thought your milk doesn't come in until after the baby, which is true. So I've been leaking like colostrum, and I don't know if it was like a one-time thing, or, you know, if it's gonna start happening every day. No, it started happening like every day. And so if this is happening to you also, you might as well start buying your breast pads. They're just like little circles, and they're just like, I have the cloth ones, so I could just wash them with my normal clothes. And it's not like I even leak a lot, but I just don't want it to leak on my bra. That was a huge surprise for me, because that didn't happen to my friends, and I thought, like, okay, yeah, I'll of course like start having stuff come out after the baby's here. But I don't have any idea why it just started randomly happening at 6 months. Maybe I'm gonna supply a lot of milk for my baby, hopefully, because I plan on breastfeeding. So most of the time, if I'm wearing like a breast pad with my bra and it's kind of like just right there on my boobs, then I won't really leak, maybe like a dot, you know. But if I'm wearing just like a pajama shirt with no bra, because I don't wear my bra to sleep, and like even just that little shirt like rubbing against it, because it's not like a bra where it's just like tight against it, like that'll make me leak, and I'll have like friggin' spot on my shirt, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, so it's like funny, but it's also kind of annoying that I have to wear a bra. I think it's just like any friction or anything will like kind of make it start to leak. So yeah, that was super random for me. Hey guys, Leticia from the future real quick, because I realized I forgot to mention one of the most like biggest symptoms. Sorry, my nose is all red. I'm like cold, by the way. It's cold. But yeah, so one symptom that I got like almost right as my second trimester started, and then I got it again throughout my second trimester. It's so annoying, and like I said, I'm just keeping it real. So if it's TMI, this is what's gonna happen when you get pregnant. Things happen that you don't expect. I was constipated and I hated it, but it reminded me of when I go into labor one day. Just, you know what, I'm gonna just stop there. But yeah, constipation, it's a thing when you're pregnant, so just warning you. Hey guys, it's Leticia from the future again. So I lied. There was more than just 2 common symptoms besides the heart pain. Heart pain. Oh my gosh, I can't. Hey guys, it's Leticia from the future again. So I lied. It's not just. I can't even remember what I was saying anymore. So, there was one more symptom that I got throughout the whole second trimester, and like not besides the heartburn and the leaking, and that was back pain. Oh my gosh, seriously, my back, I feel like I'm an 80-year-old woman. Like, getting out of bed was a struggle. Like, literally Eric has to pull me out of bed sometimes, and even just rolling around in your bed, like from one side to your other side, like that hurts alone. So I think that exercising actually did help it a little bit, but besides that, there wasn't really much that you could do. And it's just because you have so much more weight, and it's mostly all in the front, so your back muscles get sore. Yeah, that's just something that some of you might have to deal with too, and that's something that I'm still dealing with. So just wanted to throw that out there. Well, that is everything for the second trimester. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, or hopefully something was helpful. Let me know if you guys liked it or if you have any more questions, and make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, because I'm gonna do a few more where my husband Eric wears a big fake belly for 24 hours so he can kind of experience a little bit of what it's been like for me. And I'm gonna do like a belly cast, third trimester video, all that good stuff. So if you want to stay in the loop, make sure you subscribe. All right, love you guys.